simply because of those Immortals. They have like 30 kills almost between them. But if you put the force field on the roaches, it pushes them back, and that's huge trouble for the roaches. Here comes the reinforcements though. Gonna try and clean this up. The Zergling's extremely effective against these Immortals. Gonna be burning them down. Look how quickly these Immortals do drop to the Zerglings, and some of the Broodlings from the hatchery do get in on this, but the crucial part of that battle is, of course, he knocked out that hatchery, but D.Va is going to respond by rebuilding it right away. So just looking at the units lost, that's actually not too bad. They are within still 1,000 resources that are lost, but Orb, not the victor there, but he killed that hatchery, so that will play a huge role in the macro. Like we said, he had to do some damage, and I think he just did that damage.
Yeah, totally. He took out that expansion exactly what he needed to do. Although, like you said, he probably could have made that a lot cleaner if he had used the force fields. I just want to go back and touch on that point. Exactly as you said, when you place the force field on a bunch of units, it forces them to kind of bug out, and they have to get outside the perimeter of the force field. In that even one or 2 seconds of kind of bugging out and trying to, get out of the force field, it can really mess up the unit's AI, and it gives you a huge advantage. So I don't know why Orb let his sentries just kind of die and not use the energy up. But we are seeing the expansions go back up for D.Va, and I think Orb made his push successful, but he's going to have to make another one sooner or later.
An interesting thing I'm actually looking at is if you look at the units overall for D.Va right now, he has Hydras, Zerglings, Roaches, even 3 Queens, and he has Mutalisks on the way. So he is making quite the diverse army. He is not racist in any regard, as he is getting pretty much every Zerg unit right now. And as a Protoss player, I can tell you that is very difficult to deal with, because the Zerg, they can tech switch all day long, and it's up to the Protoss to try and counteract what is being thrown their way. So 2 Mutas just kind of chilling out in the middle, being little wing flapping buddies right there. The Observer, though, is going to fly right over this army, and so Orb is using a good use of these Observers to see exactly what he has to do to counter this army.
Yeah, we'd like to see D.Va maybe morph a couple Overseers. I don't think there's a single Overseer on the battlefield. Looking at the units tab right now, that's a bit discouraging, because, any good army usually has at least 1 Overseer. One other thing I want to call to you guys' attention while Husky was talking is that D.Va did build a second Hydralisk Den. Absolutely useless, because there's only 1 upgrade in the Hydralisk Den, so I don't know what the point of that was. And look, we have the uncancelled Infestation Pit rising back from under the creep to come back alive. So maybe this time it's not going to get cancelled, and it is going to stick through, and maybe we'll see some Hive Tech this game. Already looking to be a huge macro game.
He is doing that double Hydra build. That is actually pretty funny that he has 2 of those. Yeah, like you said, absolutely worthless, as there is only 1 upgrade there. But his army is looking good, and just looking at the income tab, look how close those are. Even though Orb is down a base, they are almost identical. It looks like there's a little action going down. Orb is moving his army around, gonna be able to kill this Overlord, or the Overlord's gonna get a get-out-of-jail-free card as he just walked right past there. But a big battle right here. There's those force fields we all love to see from Orb, blocking off those Roaches. Look at the Roaches, they're bugging out. Not all of them can shoot there, and this is going to give Orb a huge advantage in this battle. I don't know where the rest of the army of D.Va is. It looks like it's reinforcing it right now, but I really think that Orb is going to be able to take this battle no problem. He does have 2 fully health Immortals in the back there with even more reinforcements, so this is definitely going into Orb's favor. Goodbye, Zerg army.
Yeah, and we also saw 6 Stalkers being warped in from the east there, coming in just to kind of help and mop things out. Really, I don't know where D.Va's macro went there. We should have seen some reinforcements coming from the south end and try to flank that Immortal Stalker army, but we did not see that. So I think a little bit of mismanagement on D.Va's part, perhaps. His Hydra army just kind of chilling in the center, not coming to help. And now, could we see that expansion go down for the 2nd time today? If the Zerg loses their 3rd expansion yet again, that is just a huge setback. But we don't know. Is Orb going to move in? No, he's going to engage right here at the center of the map, just kind of push away these Roaches.
One thing I want to note is if you can go to the production tab really quick, Orb is actually researching Blink, so players always say they do want to see Blink, and we may see just that, which it's exceptionally rare in ZBZ simply because of Zerglings. They just catch right up after the Blink, no problem. And it looks like Orb is cleaning up this small army that was defending this expansion for D.Va. So now D.Va just now passed the amount of resources he has lost in his army, and he's going to be losing another hatchery here for sure. I don't know exactly what D.Va can do. He doesn't have anything here to reinforce this quite yet.
He's attacking the natural right now, though.
Oh, he is absolutely over here on the right side. You are correct, HD. Good eye there. I was engulfed in the other battle. And it looks like, I don't know if they'll be able to actually lock this down, though. 3 cannons, they recently did get a buff in that patch. And I don't know if that's enough Hydras, though, right now.
Definitely not enough Hydra, so this counterattack pretty much fails. I think Deva would have been better served to try to save his third Expo, because now that's the second time he's lost his expansion already in about 5 minutes of a time frame. And no way these roaches are going to be able to take out this Nexus in time, not with those 2 cannons and reinforcements coming back in from the battle. So in that entire exchange, Deva not doing any damage, and Orb once again taking out an expansion and usage of Blink right there. So maybe we're going to see the Blink occur a lot more often. And one thing I do want to mention is Deva is recapturing an expansion, but this time it is going to be the gold, as well as the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, he's expanding everywhere. Orb looks like he's gonna take a bite out of this expansion right now. He should catch a glimpse of it. I think Orb, you see that, Broy? There you go. There you go. I was gonna say Broy and Bo and Boy at the same time, so I said Broy. But either way, an important thing is that Deva actually lost, there was about 6 or 7 roaches in the middle of the map during all that last big battle that he also lost. So once again, just looking at the lost unit tabs, it looks like Orb is slowly pulling ahead in that he has saved more money on his army. And so he's definitely in the lead, I would say. But if both of these expansions get up, although one was destroyed, then Deva will definitely be ahead. The high yield just now getting mining here with a drone on every single mineral patch. So that should really help Deva right now, as his income is surpassing Orb's, which is pretty surprising considering Orb has done so much damage.
Yeah, I think Deva is the only reason why he's kind of hanging in this game, even though he's lost expansion after expansion, is that very reason. He's been expanding like crazy. So he can afford to lose one, but then he's still even in terms of bases with the Protoss player. And I don't know. I'd like to see right now a tech switch from Deva. He can't rely on these roaches all day long. Immortals completely mop the floor with roaches. Isn't that right?
Oh, it is true. Immortals are your best friend against Zerg that is going roaches. And you do say you want to see a tech switch. You may have your wish granted, HD, as the lair is now getting upgraded into a hive. It is almost done. So we'll see. That does unlock some new units. We could see Ultralists or we could see Broodlords. Who knows what is in the future for this game. But, I mean, there is Dark Templars on the way, too, actually, for Orb. He is making a Dark Shrine. So I think that both players are going to do a little tech switch here. And you got to remember, we've mentioned this a couple of times, there are no overseers on the map that we've seen so far, and so they could do a lot of economic harass. I don't think you as a Zerg player are very friendly with Dark Templars.
No, I absolutely hate Dark Templars. I despise Dark Templars. They are the worst, especially if you don't have any overseers. Then that's really bad. If they get up in your army and you have no way to detect them, you could just say goodbye, GG. So right now we do see a very large Roach Hydralist army. This is 114 supply worth of units just attacking these rocks. So is he going to actually go up and take out some of those production buildings right now? Like to see that. Orb is actually pulling back, a little scared, but no, he's going to come back to the center. So both players kind of playing cat and mouse, and finally 5 Dark Templar being warped in right in front of the naturals. So these DTs might come into play. As you guys can see on the units tab, there is not one overseer for the Zerg army.
There's a couple other important points right now. The Zerg player doesn't have any upgrades. Orb does have 2 attack, no other upgrades, but the DTs are actually going to get a flank on these units. These Zerg units are going to be stuck up here. DTs do an extreme amount of damage to all the Zerg units, and so I think that Orb is in a lot of trouble here, or not Orb rather, but Deva with these Dark Templars. They're going to do so much damage, but Deva though still holding his own for a little while, but wow, 5 DTs. That is just like a football player just tackling a small little child. That was completely one-sided because of those Dark Templars. Extremely smart move there by Orb.
Yeah, but at the same time, we do have roaches coming into the 6 o'clock here, so even though Deva lost his entire army, look at how fast the Zerg is able to rebuild with those queens on 4 bases right now. It's so easy for Deva to rebuild, but he still doesn't have overseers. I don't think he knows, and those stalkers blinking out of there as the Dark Templar get the flank